our curtain raiser done and dusted, and it is on to our second match in our double header right here. It is match number 60 in your 2024-2025 Philippines Football League season. We've got the Philippine Youth National Team and the home side, of course, or you could say the hosts. It's Stallion Laguna FC. And a good evening, and thank you very much for joining us on matchday.ph for this one. Claro Manzano here alongside Dennis Lucindo. And because of that result earlier with Davao bagging a win, things got a lot more crazy in that middle of the pack in our standing. So this one, ultra important, right?
Well, tonight we are watching the hobbled Stallions of Laguna in that they're missing several key players. Stephen Ham missing as their lone center back. A. Placito on a red card. Finn McDaniel on an accumulation of yellow card. Del Mundo is out on injury as well. So there are going to be a lot of new faces from Stallion, and they've been wounded, not just on the pitch, but in the standings. Their last game was a loss against Wantagig FC, and before that, it was a draw, but it could have been pretty much a loss for them also against Maharlika FC. And don't forget, Claro, this is a Stallion team that has armed up in the off-season, picking up names like Hartman, Schrock, Porteria. Those are national team caliber players who've got multiple caps each and players of great significance.
As we take a look at our standings, there you go, Stallion Laguna just outside of the top four. Do note again, the top four will advance to the final series. That is how we will determine our champion in this season. The youth national team sit at number 9 in our above Minjola FC. But development is the name of the game here. And these are young players who are getting that professional exposure, as we know, so that they could get ready for the Southeast Asian Games. But of course, a win for the youth national team will even bunch up the table even more should that happen. With Stallion, a win here will allow them to get back on level terms with Taguig in terms of points.
Well, Stallion do feel that Davao Aguilas UMAC did them a favor in beating Taguig FC. And a win tonight would allow Stallion to go level on points with Taguig FC at 19 each, but they would still be behind, depending on the goal difference. Let's see if the veterans on the Stallion team can make a score fest of this, or if the Philippine youth national team will see Stallion for what it is tonight, which is wounded and ripe for an attack.
As we look at the starting 11 here for the youth national team, it's actually a 4-3-3 to be precise. And we were talking about it. It's the UAAP All-Stars, given that they're eligible
this
for
Philippine
U22.
youth national team lineup has changed significantly in this second round. In the first half of the season, we saw a lot of Tuloy Don Bosco players that we're familiar with. Tonight, especially in this starting 11, it reads like a UAAP All-Stars of sorts, of freshmen and sophomores. Sandejas, but is not in the UAAP. Villanueva from FEU. Karaig from Zobel. Merino from Zobel. Bengson, Carino from Ateneo. Aspiras did train with Ateneo but didn't play in the UAAP for Ateneo. Valenzuela from FEU. Aban from FEU. Ramil Bation, the striker of UP. And Theo Libarnes from FEU.
And then we'll get over here with Stallion Laguna's formation. Yes, they are wounded. No natural, or they don't have their usual center backs or defenders. And Mark Hartman listed here as center back, but that was the case last game. We don't think so. Let's see how it will shape up later.
I really doubt Mark Hartman will play center back. Most likely, this formation will be a 3 in the back, a 3-5-2 or a 3-5. 3-3-5-3, but it's a strange composition for Coach Ernie Nieras. Really missing significant pieces. Stephen Ham, as young people don't realize, he's only about 19, 20 years old, and he's held that center back spot like a boss. A. Placito now plays more attacking midfield, but he's also an able center back from them. And as we've said, in the off season, Stallion let go of a number of their center backs. Terrence Smith, Sayan Carlagi, Enzo Lucindo all went to Maharlika in between rounds.
Also, no top scorer for Stallion Finn McDaniel due to card accumulation, as you've said. But we're going to take it to the pitch for our pre-match protocol.
And as they line up at the half line, tonight is going to be story of the captains of each team. Matt Nieras, for many reasons, has not had the best season so far. And tonight he's there as captain, and he's always been captain, but he'll be playing a more pivotal role in the defense tonight. Joshua Merino, one of the few holdovers from the initial look of the Philippine Youth National Team. And of course, Joshua did suit up for the full men's national squad in the very successful Mitsubishi Electric Cup campaign, although he did not get any minutes on the pitch under the men's team.
Mourinho, and just like Matt Nieras, actually, both spent significant time with LaSalle Zobel. And we are just wrapping up our pre-match protocol at the moment, but when we run through our match officials, Raymart de los Santos ay ang ating referee ngayon. Si Laureli Balila at Kim Zoren Abuel ay ang ating assistant referee. So linesman, si Aldos Mirafuentes ay ang fourth official. Si Ray Ritaga ay ang ating referee assessor. And si Mr. Mario Ayala ay ang ating match commissioner.
And we saw at the half shaking hands with the two head coaches, Sergi Mascarel, a Spanish national coaching the Philippine Youth National Team, and Ernie Nieras, an Alabang national.
And I will say also, this will be the Titos versus the Young Guns, given that Stallion understandably have a great number of veterans already.
Between Shraki and Mark Hartman. Mark would be familiar with some of these boys, especially those who trained at the GOM Center of Excellence during the pandemic. His older brother, Mark,
Darren, yes.
hosts a camp there, and during the pandemic, it was an oasis to boys who took their football seriously. They got to spend a week or two there and do nothing but play football. And Mark would often join the scrimmages.
Great, of course, getting to play with such a technical player like Mark Hartman for these young boys. And Shraki was playing coach to a number of these guys with the ASCO's development team, the precursor of this youth national team. Early warning shot here. Went out. Went in
Fahmi
front.
Ibrahim with a left-footed shot that wasn't far over the post. But if we look at center back for Stallion, there's a new face, a new name on the sheet. Gabriel Maurice Claudio, who is a full foreign national, untested in the PFL, and just coming off an injury. So when we say that the Stallions are hobbled for tonight, we mean it.
Tough, of course, to make your debut and have to play the full 90 right after coming from an injury. Well, it's a foot race. This ball was definitely out already. No good for the youngsters here. It will be Llamas to resume. And as expected, Hartman Definitely not center back. It's the back three for Laguna.
It's a back three. Hartman will play the 6. When the situation calls for it, he will be a stopgap second center back.
But Hartman capable of playing everywhere in the midfield.
So Schaffner, chest control to Koichi Bilgira.
But it's picked up by the youth national team, the team in orange. One, trying to pick their pocket there to no avail against Brian Villanueva. Karaig, Diego Aspiras telling them to play it back. See Doug Schaffner trying to make it difficult for them. He got it to Fahmi Ibrahim. One, getting through. What will Galiana Trujillo do? That's right, we're seeing some fireworks right here. Outside the perimeter fence of the...
Courtesy of the Philippines Football League. But it went off a little early because it's supposed to go off when a goal is scored.
I do recall the SEA Games. Was that in the 23rd SEA Games in about 2005, 2003? Every time there's a goal for the Philippines, they launch fireworks.
Well, Stallion hoping for some fireworks in their favor tonight as they need to keep pace with the top 4 of our current standings.
They go to Fahmi on the left. Fahmi couldn't get it though. Stallion will play it back to Koichi. We're aware, of course, that Stallion have that deep roster, so in instances where they are hobbled, you could kind of say no problem, right? The challenge here was that they just decided to get more midfielders than center backs. As they use the national team trying to go down the right, no good for Carino.
Sorry, Clara. I was just looking at how Claudio has been moving, and there's an element of it that's slightly labored. And I wonder against a very quick, very fleet-footed youth national team side, whether he will be exposed for speed.
That's the advantage that the youth national team will look to capitalize on. Porteria on the right. I believe that came off of Fahmi, if I'm not
Fahmi
mistaken.
couldn't get out of the way of OJ. OJ was going for the low inside corner of Sandejas' goal.
Here's a look. OJ had some space. Friendly fire, as we've mentioned. There was the initial intention to play short here from Sandejas. We'll send this one long. Charlie Beaton. There was the fall from OJ, and he was last touch against Kent Valenzuela, the FEU Tamarao.
Well, the FEU enforcer, as he's been known in the UAAP. And let's see whether his predispositions will show itself in the PFL.
Normally, an enforcer would be someone like the holding midfielder, the center back.
He's a wing player.
Well, a wing player, yeah. My peg for an enforcer is like, your Jason De Jong, as the 6. Let's add Stephen Hom to the mix also, who's here in the grandstand. Fahmi Ibrahim in the left.
Beautiful switch from Matt Nieras.
And he's up against Dov Carino. A great test for Dov Carino, of course. And then it will be a corner here for Laguna. And disadvantage definitely for Stallion, given that they are facing a younger team.
Yes, the breeze that has died a bit at this point. Delivering this corner is Mark Hartman. He is known as a free kick specialist.
No surprise, it's him here into the middle. There is the defensive header from Villanueva, it seemed. So get through the middle now. Valenzuela found space, gave it to his teammate in FEU in Aban. They wanted to send it to the middle. Koichi Bilgira there to do his job. Bation.
Charlie Beaton. Bation. It was Bation versus Beaton in the middle, and Beaton beat that ball down. Now Claudio sprays it wide to the waiting Schaffner, laying it off for Koichi Belgira, a Stallion, old reliable. Mark Hartman to Schrock, who are both old and still reliable also.
Matt to OJ Porteria. Shraki there just in case. Wanted it, got it.
Called for the reset.
Gotta trust Shraki's wisdom.
There is a bit of seniority there.
But they
Ooh,
could
too
not.
high. Too high for even the tall Fami Ibrahim.
Intention was right though, of course.
Yes. So
It's-
this is the first PFL action for Claudio. So let's see how quickly he can adjust. But this is the type of run that he will struggle.
But there was no support, or support came a little too late for the team in orange and black. So
But those runs will be worrying for Stallion FC.
we're only 7 minutes and change into the game. What more? How will it develop over the 45 minutes, over the 90 minutes of this game? Something I've noticed too. See Doug Schaffner. I'm not so sure how you describe the way he styled his hair in their loss, but it's back to his signature man bun.
Well,
Baka may malas done with the previous
he did have
way
braids.
he styled his hair. Oh, braids, there you go. Wasn't as Allen Iverson-esque, but I'll
No.
take that from you. It's braids.
And uncharacteristically imprecise from Shraki, trying to spray a ball wide to OJ.
What really brought Shraki back to the competitive scene is that he just has that itch to play, as we know. Someone who worked at Shraki for the longest time, Carson Gutierrez, we know, did mention that to us. So he said he was not surprised that Shraki unretired again.
Okay, the head referee there, Raymart de los Santos, overruling the linesman calling for Stallion, and the referee overturning the decision. So Bengson of Ateneo with a throw-in. Ramil Bation nearby in weight.
So it's like a complete reset for this youth national team when it comes to goal scorers or playmakers, players who've been able to assist, given that it's essentially a big change here, or all new faces, you could argue. Say for, let's say, Brian Villanueva. As there's the reason why we have that free kick for the
Well,
YNT.
Mourinho has been there for some time because we
Also
were used to
Villanueva,
seeing players
yes.
like Nunez and
John Lloyd Halike,
John Lloyd Halike.
Cyril Saut, whom often assisted each other, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The brothers combined for 4 goals.
Who else got your back, right?
Whipped in.
That was dangerous, and there were two youth players around an isolated Claudio. So warning signs, warning lights going off for Stallion.
Sent over the bar. And it's understandable why Lebarnes is playing up front. Because up until the high school level, and then this is what just justified him as an attacking player. He is a goal-scoring machine. In the high school level, in the PFF U19 level, you don't expect that exactly or those numbers to be replicated, but he's showing that he has the talent to compete in the UAP, and then now he has this next stage to prove himself. Matt Nieras, Mark Hartman. That it's a foul that will go the way of Stallion, the team in white.
Two hands to the lower back of Mark Hartman warrant an immediate whistle from the head referee. But these boys, these young men at the Philippine Youth National Team, it's not that they're playing for nothing, Claro. Yes, the objectives here are developmental and in preparation for participation in the Southeast Asian Games this November and December. But it's also a chance for the players to showcase themselves for PFL and other clubs down the line in their careers.
Yes, they're not going to be U23s forever, of course. So by the time they are, let's say, overage for the youth national team setup, perhaps it will be a little bit easier to find a new home because there's the youth national team, the guest team, and then 9 other PFL clubs. Shraki flicked it to Sea Dog. Hartman. And Schaffner got it back. Belgira. He'll get it back to Claudio. Matt Nieras. OJ. Hartman. Is this overhit?
No, he knows. He knows the win there. But Beaton now here. Quick feet, Mark Hartman. His touches have not been the best quality, but he gets it back. Now one quick turn and shot.
And from our vantage point, it is off target, but he got the keeper to react there for sure, just in case. Let's look at Shraki.
And so Stallion tonight is missing a key focal point of their offense in Finn McDaniel. Does that handicap them, Claro? Or does it free them up to explore other options on their team?
It can work both ways, of course, and how. Let's see how this team will respond. But the indicator, of course, get the win. That means something's working. Beaton. Got it to Porteria. OJ the cross. Fami and Juan could not connect or reach for it. Recovered by Dov Carino. Dov Carino starting the foot race. Claudio will get it back to Roberto Llamas. Llamas is the goalkeeper coach of Stallion's women's team. Koichi. Kuya Shraki. Getting it to Fami. There was Karaig to head it out to the latest attack. You gotta love it, of course. There's the roadside fans, as expected, showing up to this game on the other side of the grandstand. Whipped in. One unideal touch. Charlie Beaton. OJ Porteria got to shoot, but easily handled by Sandejas. Now let's see if the youth national team, as we see that shot of OJ. Will the youth national team come up with something? With their live pictures, not the case. Beaton, Shraki. Sito gets to reach it.
Oh, nobody going for it there.
Hartman, off of one, I believe, but the keeper
Again, two
reacted.
instances of Stallion getting in each other's way. But it's been a promising 2 minutes for Stallion Laguna when they've been able to keep pressure on the Philippine youth national team. Actually, the youth national team's mistakes cause that pressure to be kept on them.
I guess we'd see them go to the right with OJ Porteria, and then they go with the left with Fami Ibrahim. Then one is playing in the center, and there's Shraki who'd also try to dribble through the defense. We're seeing different options here. They're going for the left and right. They're going for everywhere. Knocked back by
Loose
Beaton.
pass by Beaton.
Is hit.
Claudio tracking the attack. Nieras covering the middle. Lay off to Bengson, who's looking to cross Belgira calmly. Away, but ill-advised by Claudio to play it to middle.
When we hear from our colleagues, the analysts or former players, never cleared the ball to the middle.
Never. Never, ever, ever, ever. One wanted that ball into the middle from Porteria.
Well, OJ was just wide open there. Had so much space.
Well, he did, and there was a lot of space between number 23 and 37, the left back and the left wing back, Bengzon, of the Philippine defense. And that's what Juan was pointing to as the gap to exploit.
There's a look at Gian Karaig. But it will be these short bursts for the youth national team. As there's a foot race, and Claudio left behind. Matt Nieras there to cover. There's the chance to switch. The shot here, and it is 1-0 courtesy of Ken Valenzuela, beating Stallion Laguna's defense starting a foot race, utilizing their speed. And the youngsters take this one.
So the start of that attack was really Claudio getting turned and having to chase. And it looks like his knee isn't perfect just yet, so he's struggling to catch up to a runner. Matt Nieras was forced to cover, leaving Kent Valenzuela alone and open for an easy goal.
You did mention that was your fear with Claudia possibly or highly likely not being 100% fit.
Yes.
And then there's these guys where speed just comes naturally with just a flick of the switch. 1-0 here. Welcome to the goal scorers list, Kent Valenzuela. And Roberto Llamas had to fish that ball out of his net. But do you say that goal was against the run of play, Dennis, with Stallion creating chances?
It was, because for a good 5 minutes before that, it was chances being created towards the PYNT goal.
OJ Porteria appearing to be shaken up after some contact with Diego Aspiras. But it's with Jaime Sandejas now because they will get this back underway. And let's look at it also. The top two scorers of Stallion Laguna are out because yes, we know there's Finn McDaniel, who's their lead man in the attack. Abe Placito's actually their second best scorer statistically with 4. And then right after is Fahmi Ibrahim with 3.
Well, they're not lacking for goal scoring ability on this current Stallion lineup. I mean, Fami is there, Juan is there, OG Porteria has always had a nose for goal. Christian Schaffner is more than capable, and so is Mark Hartman from distance. And of course, Stefan Schruck. So any one of those names could score for Stallion.
Stefan Schruck, plenty of memorable goals at the club level and for the national team. Ibrahim, the youth national team.
That's going to be a PYNT ball because it went off Ibrahim.
But it seemed like they were asking for a foul, but nonetheless, possession will go their way because it was outside. It's Karaig. So Karaig and Merino, you could say, are the holdovers from that last set of players with the youth, with the national team. But just like that, it goes back to Stallion quickly. Hartman surveys. Beaton. Nieras. Claudio. You see the aggression of Stallion, getting their center backs well past the half line. Fami to Mark. They couldn't get it to Shraki though. Beaton couldn't reach it to Nieras. His captain's armband is loose. That ball seemed to be a little loose when it was played to Claudio, but it is still with them. Koichi. Just past the 20-minute mark here, and it is your second game in our doubleheader for PFL action. Stallion Laguna in white looking to play catch-up against the PYNT.
Well, Ben's on there. Face guard had Porteria to keep him from the run. Creative from OJ to lift the ball for Schrock.
You see here, they aren't backing down from Shraki. Here's Nieras getting it to Shraki. Shraki, right-footed cross. Fami, can he reach it?
Dispossessed there. But possession stays with Stallion FC.
Now, can possession here lead to chances for Stallion Laguna? And then with chances, Can you get a shot on target? Can you make Sandejas work? OJ. Well, Sandejas gets it. And I'm not making this up, but it seems like OJ Porteria still has his full throttle from back in the day. He didn't lose it, I'd like
He
to
didn't
think.
lose it. No, that was my thought exactly. He didn't lose it. And he's seeing Bengzon, and Bengzon is not going to win a shoulder challenge against Porteria, nor Schrock. So professionals know where to look for weaknesses.
OJ Porteria actually grew up in the East Coast, the same area as Nate Berkey. And Nate Berkey would see this young kid, small, fast, great footwork, and he said, yeah, this kid is Filipino. And then years later, there you go, OJ Porteria playing in the UFL. He started off in Kaya. Shraki got it to Juan Galeana Trujillo in the tight space versus Bengzon. Sandejas couldn't reach it. His defense gets to clean up. Libarnes.
Charlie Beaton had to be braver in that instance.
As Llamas gets it from Claudio. Released before Libarnes got there. Llamas knew what he was doing. Hartman. Koichi. To Fami. Flag definitely down right there. He got to beat his man. Fami will bring it. Takes a fall. Referee says to get up. Santejas sees that there is space to distribute it out wide to Valenzuela, our goal scorer this evening. Matt Nieras versus Kenneth Valenzuela. A bit strange because Matt Nieras commentates the games
Exactly.
in the UAP. Can't place it.
You're reading my mind because Matt's having to run and sprint, and Matt must be thinking, damn it, I'm happier commentating these kids than having to run after them.
I'm sure Matt has that competitive spirit in him. Still brings that dog in him when we commentate games, I will say.
Competitiveness is definitely in the Nieras blood.
But on the upside, though, with him commentating, he has that scouting report in his mind. Because he really just enjoys just breaking down the action for us.
Well, of course, Matt Nieras is outside of the PFL pitch. He is the sporting director for football for De La Salle Zubel. So he's always looking at talent.
This pass was loose from Diego Aspiras. He sends his apologies to the bench. I don't think Coach Sergi Mascarell is accepting that apology.
Well, there's a saying that, when you lose the ball in football, don't waste your time apologizing, and instead exert effort towards making up for it.
Shraki. Porteria has Charlie Beaton running for it.
Nutmegs Bengzon to get it to Charlie Beaton.
OJ. That will be a throw in. Charlie. Gave it to Porteria.
Loose touch from Charlie Beaton, but OJ cleans up. Schaffner makes this run. Deflection.
And then it's with Libarnes. No numbers up front. Hits it wide to the wing. There's a non-rushing Dov Carino on the right. But Bation was there, as you've said. And Tito Charlie on the receiving end of that shove. Ashraki played it quickly. What a ball there. Fami Ibrahim. Numbers do not favor Stallion. Shakes, bakes, shoots, scores! What a display there from Fami Ibrahim.
Solo effort gifted by quick thinking from the veteran of veterans, Stefan Schrock. Stefan quickly grabbed the ball, put it down, played it to a Fami Ibrahim who had momentum.
Well, because of the individual effort of Fami, no assist, but what a find from Shraki. Played it quickly. He used his veteran wits against this young team.
Yes, we're seeing the replay of the finish, but we really would like to see the quick thinking of Stefan Schrock in grabbing that in grabbing the ball off the referee's hands and taking it quickly. Beautiful low-driven ball to find Fahmi Ibrahim.
So we are back on level terms. No clean sheet for either goalkeeper in this game. Hartman. Better than no look. What will Kuya Shraki do?
Again, now Shraki saying, hey, I want to look for Ibrahim a little more.
Actually, even before he connected with Fahmi, Shraki's been trying to connect to them on the left. And
Well,
then there'd be OJ who'd dribble rather
Shrak-
than get a long ball.
Shrek has been very balanced about his distribution so far in this game. He's looked both left and right. But after that goal from Ibrahim, Shrek realizing that he's got a return on investment on passes to the left.
To the back, there's pressure from Galiana Trujillo.
Yes.
It seems that Sea Dog Schaffner has gone to the right side now. Diego Aspiras. Bengson. Valenzuela returned it. I think he tried to go for the fancy. Porteria. Sea Dog got to release it. Shraki from OJ. You're seeing the West Coast and East Coast connection with Porteria and Sea Dog Schaffner on the right now.
Well, Sea Dog, of course, another Bay Area boy. Yeah, OJ had a good idea there, but cleats got stuck in the turf. Now time for a reset.
Nieres got it to Shraki.
Shraki playing the role of the pivot, usually played by Mark Hartman, who's further upfield in this sequence.
What a find to Porteria. OJ low cross was blocked.
Valenzuela faking out Mark Hartman, and Mark's not going to like that.
I think he's going to try to get back at him.
Oh, because
in
we're
this
talking
game.
of competitiveness. The Hartman household, another one of those highly competitive families.
Well, here's the cross that Matt Nieres got to reach. But it was chested though by Aban.
If you're rooting for Stallions, what's worrying is that on these counters, the numbers don't quite even out, and they're making these little mistakes.
And Hartman gave up that foul. He's the culprit. Just gifted it though to Ramil Batyon. In the dangerous attacking third of the YNT.
And looking to claim that free kick is Aban. Looking to take this one.
He's been there. He's done that in the lower ranks. It will be massive if he could do this here. And the PFL. And the players playing here, of course, for the youth national team will not lose their amateur status, given that
Yes,
this
they're
is the
given
national team.
a special dispensation to be here in the Philippines Football League.
Given that they're a guest team, of course. So it's Aban stepping up to the plate. There was the wall also set up by Roberto Llamas. Four-man wall. Oh my goodness! A rocket of a shot! I guess he answered their question. Can he bring that,
that
to
is-
the PFL level?
That is sheer quality from Aban and how he shaped that ball just over the wall into the right-hand side of Roberto Llamas' goal. And Roberto is not going to like that at all.
You see a bit of the wind blowing from, or blowing on there. A rocket of an effort from Edgar Aban. He did say again, he's done that before in the UAP ranks and brings it up here to the PFL level. They'll need to, or Stallion.
You have to credit the developmental team or the youth national team for making the most of the opportunities they get. They haven't had a lot of shots on target, but what they have gotten on target, they've converted into goals. It's been a sloppy game, frankly, for Mark Hartman, not just in giving away that free kick, but also in the quality of some of his passes, which are usually more precise.
It'll still stay with Stallion here. Porteria receives that hello from Valenzuela. I see Valenzuela taller than OJ here, as he read that return ball from Schafter. Sido got to win it, but Shraki was there. They were crowding. Well, they gang up here on the limited numbers. The orange shirts on their left wing somehow get to break free. Lebarnes trying to be patient, and Yaras poked it away. Bengson just taking his time for this one. 13 minutes and change remaining in the first half. You're catching this one on matchday.ph. And we are so glad that you could join us again for your Sunday night football. We are coming to you from the Binyan Football Stadium. Alongside Dennis Lucindo, this is Claro Manzano. So we are bringing you the commentary for this one. Aspiras. And it's a Hartman foul again. Hartman's foul earlier led to that free kick, which led to a goal.
And, Diego Aspira is actually one of those boys that Mark Hartman knows very well. Diego spent a lot of time during the pandemic in the Hartman farm in Sinaloan.
And then they were teammates also for United City in that last
teammates
season.
in United City. And, of course, Diego also one of those boys who trained when the Hartmans took their show to Balisin. So, very familiar there and very sloppy from Mark so far in this game.
It's Aban again, but this one much further. It seems like he's trying to go for a goal here. It's not from the parking lot though, but quite a distance.
No, that's 20 yards outside of the box. So it's a lifted ball in. It stays in play, or no, says the referee.
So it is outside already, according to our linesman.
But the Stallion defense not completely switched on, Claro.
Other than them not having their usual names here and there, maybe it's an unfamiliarity because they had to train or maybe set up for about a week when they found out, oh, Helm's out, Placito's out.
You know, what's been missing is a fluidity to their attack. And that really comes with familiarity. There are a lot of great names that were added to the Stallion lineup. And on paper, it's a very strong team. But whether that strength translates to an ability to play together remains to be seen. They've only gotten 1 point so far out of this new era of Stallion. But on the other hand, Claro, one would think with the veteran stature of those names, they would each know how to adapt.
Well, they better adapt quickly, of course. Because we are nearing the late stages of the season already, the double round robin. Stallion outside of the top four, right, Dennis?
There's the ability to adapt, Claro, and the willingness to adapt. That's the thing, right? It's hard to teach old dogs new tricks. And at least in Mark and Stefan Schruck, those are old Askals right there.
They did reach the Askell era. Shraki sent this one out. No good for him there. A little over 10 minutes remaining and change here in the first half. It's 2-1 again. The goal scorers for the youth national team.
We also know, Claro, that both, Mark is the quieter sort, but he does have a temper, as does Stefan Schruck, right? So we'll see.
But the goal scorers again, there's Kent Valenzuela and Edgar Aban for the YNT in orange. And for Stallion, Fahmi Ibrahim got to score. Ibrahim Will he double their tally today? Because they need to get back into this one. Mourinho got to meet it. Porteria got the tackle. And then it's a corner kick here for Laguna.
So here close to us, Coach Sergey Mascarel with not a few choice words to the fourth official. But we're kind of used to seeing that from Coach Sergey.
He's been animated a number of times in this season also.
We're consistently animated.
Who would top the list there in that aspect?
Present company would.
One couldn't head it. It was dealt with by Mourinho. OJ. Sea Doug Schaffner has to retreat. Turns around. And then it will be a corner kick once more. Can they translate these corners to a goal?
A successful tackle by Mourinho, but dangerous. Because he was tackling into a Christian Schaffner who had completed his turn.
And Sandes is down on his knees and is shaken up also. Maybe a collision with all the chaos there. No surprise, he's back on his feet and it's okay. Here comes the service and out swinger. But it was denied by Sandejas. Claudio actually got that on target. But with us talking about animated coaches, maybe that can be an extra poll on matchday.ph on my page.
It's actually a bit unnerving to see Coach Ernie Nieras not so animated. He is the definition of a fiery coach in the PFL. But of late,
Because even if you're leading, Coach Ernie will demand the
oh yes,
110% from you. Just being that mentor, of course, and drawing the best out of his players. Valenzuela from Aspiras. Shraki, Porteria. Always over to Lebarnes though. There was the fall. The referee took no interest. Sea Dog to Shraki. Hartman got it. Double teamed. And giving Mark Hartman a big hug. Oh, Diego Aspiras was part of that, given they know each other well. Hartman is shoving Bengson a little
that's
bit.
Bengson because the ball had settled for the free kick and Bengson kicked it away. But on the first instance, Bengson wanting to show Mark Hartman some love and hold hands for a bit.
Hartman showing him who's the Tito, right? Right here in Binyan. Trademark Mark Hartman ball. Fami shoots. Almost scores again. Galeana Trujillo almost got the rebound. Well, he did hit a defender though. That's why there's someone down. 6
Yes.
minutes remaining and change.
But you know, both players within their rights to go for the ball. Stallion is chasing the points. And the Titos in them, claro, they don't want to be down 2-1 against the youth national team nor anybody.
It's millennials versus Gen Z, come to think of it, right?
Oh boy, don't get me started on the generational battle, claro. Because I have my own battle to fight for the Gen Xers.
Of course. Well, at least your generation has a bye in this game. You guys are competing today. I'll say this in a joke, or baka retired na dito sa PFL. Just a joke, of course. That is.
Oh, I don't know if Hamed is Gen X.
Oh, I think he is. I think he is. Mark Hartman. Unsuccessful. It's the speed prevailing here. Tov Carino surveys. Ateneo to FEU. Will Valenzuela get another one? Wide though. Hits the side of the net. We could do some lip reading. We could actually hear that from the panel. It's Valenzuela against Nieras again. But now it was Claudia who got to support Nieras. Then the whistle here as OJ hit the turf. Bengson.
And there's
It's
an
on a yellow.
element here, Clara, of the Titos, and they're putting up with these hits that they're getting from the young uns. And there's an element of how long are they going to put up with it, right? Like grizzled lions who have cubs playing around them, and they'll tolerate it for a while. But there's going to come a point where they will growl.
I did see a video online that exactly describes that. The puppy and the big dog. Fami Ibrahim up against Karaig. Fami took a fall. No whistle once more. He wanted something from that, and he's going to get the yellow, I believe.
That's what he gets from that. And Fami is not a player known for going to ground easy, for taking a dive. And so he feels very poorly done by in that instance.
Fami from that program of Duke in the United States. No good for him in that occasion, though. Great distance covered, but this rattled around. It came off of the man with the number 99 jersey, and Theo Lebarnes. Claudio Carretuñeras. Roberto Llamas getting him to push up.
And we see walking past the commentary position, Claro, the parents of Jax Peña, Jake, and a belated happy birthday to Babes Sil Peña, otherwise known as the mother of Jax, not the mother of dragons.
Jax, of course. Someone with quite a following, as we know. Mas starstruck nga ako, nakita ko dati sa town center. Obviously half joking right there.
I have a hard time getting starstruck by these kids, Clara, because I've literally known them since they were babies.
Ang tito ng bayan, Dennis Lucindo. Fami Ibrahim tried to shrug off that yellow earlier. Not literally, of course. You cannot erase that from your record in the game. But they need to bounce back. Simple as this. Time is ticking, though, right here in the first.
Matt Nieras getting turned around by Valenzuela. Koichi Bilgira. Veteran smarts.
Getting up there slowly but surely. It's like that passive-aggressive mode in a good way. Or controlled aggression. Fami Ibrahim denied and stopped by Karaig.
But Fami has had some measure of success attacking that left side. Not to say that OJ hasn't been successful, but Fami has gotten into the box more on that left-hand side. Stallion beginning to recognize it.
Shrocky versus Bation.
So familiarity, Clara, is not just, knowing and liking each other. It's the little things, like knowing where you want to receive passes, how strong you want those passes. Little things like that add up during the course of a game.
Additional time, 2 minutes, as confirmed by Aldo Mirafuentes. All
very
those tiny
short.
bits just make you a well-oiled machine.
Mhm.
That's how you get to show your results game in and game out. Top the table, ideally.
It's Stallion not there yet.
Porteria. Trying to drive by. Circling around. Low cross. It was outside from our angle. But Sandejas just reacted
This
to
is
be
going
safe.
to be a corner for Stallion. Mark going over to that near corner.
Let's see who got the touch.
OJ, those rollovers with the sole of the boot have become an OJ Porteria trademark over the years.
Hartman, the service. Players taking a fall again. Shrocky. Shrocky versus Merino. Got to release, but it was cleared off by Dov Carino. Matt Nieras out wide.
That's a
It does
slow
not
pass.
reach
That's
Mark.
a weak pass. They're going to have numbers if he looks up. Bation looks up and sees. Beautiful delivery.
everything but the finish right there. But Stallion escaping that one.
Oh,
Just
Stallion was lucky there. Good awareness from Batian, looking up at the right time. Good awareness and great technique to deliver that ball on a dime onto an on-rushing Aban, who was Koichi was on the wrong side of him.
I believe it is Koichi who was last touched based on that replay, so Llamas didn't get a touch to it. But Stallion escaping that. Here comes the corner. They go for the back post. The bicycle hit the roof of the net though. As Brian Villanueva trying to come up with that.
Well, those are the acrobatic things that kids will do.
And then just like that, it's the half-time whistle. The PFF Youth National Team leads Stallion Laguna 2-1. Kent Valenzuela gave us the opener. Edgar Aban got the second goal. But first, let's not forget that Fami Ibrahim cancelled out that goal earlier of Valenzuela. And then it was made 2-1. And that's how we find ourselves at the break in Binyan. And stay with us later on so we could bring you the second half action. And we are close to wrapping up our halftime break right here at the Binyan Football Stadium. It is your Philippines Football League action, and the youth national team out to spring an upset versus the short-handed Stallion Laguna FC. Kent Valenzuela and Edgar Aban, the goal scorers so far. Fahmi Ibrahim with a crucial goal to keep Stallion Laguna in the game. We are running through the highlights as you see. And the youth national team did get opportunities to knock on the door and utilize or capitalize limited chances, with Stallion mainly dictating play. And they started these foot races, as we mentioned. They used the space to their advantage and their speed. That's how Kent Valenzuela made it 1-0. Will there be more of that later? Or will Laguna be able to make in-game adjustments or implement the halftime adjustments they plotted out with Coach Ernie Nieras? We'll find out, of course. Sandejas was called to action a number of times. Did not get to secure it there. But you could say the youth national team cleaning up the garbage. Their defense working together as a crew, trying to deny any opportunities or second chances. Here was Fahmi. I believe this is when he found the back of the net. But we also have to recall that moment where Shraki was fouled, and then he played it quickly right here. Flag clearly down there when it came to offside. Fahmi used his individual effort at that moment, but it was the find from Stefan Schrock to set him up right there. And Mark Hartman gave up a foul, and then Edgar Aban just sent this to the back of the net. And here was that quality ball from Hartman, but it was stopped by Sandejas, Jose Porteria, showing us that he never lost his speed, his agility, his footwork, despite of him being a veteran now. And it almost became 3-1 at that moment, when I recall also. As there's a look at Shraki and Juan Galeana Trujillo. Let's see how they'll be able to implement or grow into this game in the first 15 minutes of the second half.
Well, at the half, Clara, we saw the halftime fireworks show, care of the Binyan Municipal Government and the Philippines Football League. But the fireworks for this game have so far come from the Philippine national youth team. And rightly ahead, 2-1 in this game, exposing the gaps in the Stallion defense. Claudio was starting at center back, and it looks like he was struggling on movement. And the quick, I mean, of course, when you're young, Claudio, when you're young, you want to keep running. And that's what we see in the UAAP game. They run and run and run. And Stallion getting caught on the run by a counter-attacking Philippine youth team.
As we did say, when we look at this list of players for the team in orange, parang UAP All-Stars, or like the UAP All-Stars standouts, as we do see a double substitution for Laguna.
Yuki, number 21, and MJ Libre coming in. Going out, looks like it's OJ Porteria is one of those players coming out. And the other player would be...
It will be made official actually when it's halftime. The subs
Claudio.
are made official.
So Claudio is coming out. So let's see who's going to take that center back spot. Matt Nieras would be the natural choice, but might even be Mark Hartman to drop into center back. And I'm not sure if that's a smart move to move Mark Hartman into center back, because the desire to be mobile, when they have Stephen Ham in the center back position in a 3-back formation, Stephen, of course, very young and very willing to run.
From the way they are setting this up, it seems that Hartman,
like Mark Hartman,
will play center back, yes. And we'd see Hartman play striker, center mid,
holding
winger.
mid, attacking mid.
Is this
winger.
is this officially, or this might be the first time he'll have to slot in at the back, right?
I have, in all the years I've seen Mark Hartman play, even from the UFL, even from his national stint days, that is not a position I've seen him in, nor one that we know him to be predisposed to.
Well, with this challenge for Laguna, given that they are short-handed, if they could come up with the win and come from behind. That will talk about their character. Batyon trying to clean up. Valenzuela. Batyon trying to get it to Dov Carino. Koichi Belgira read that. See Doug Schaffner. Hustled well. And got to get it right before Dov. Ibrahim. See Doug Schaffner. He sees Shraki. Releases him. Merino got to collect it.
So the German connection not quite there for Schaffner and Schrock. The ball a little too far ahead for Schrock's liking, and that's a foul called against Koichi Belgira, pushing off on the goal scorer, the second goal scorer, Abad, who might have hurt his hand on the landing. But Koichi Belgira not known for upper body strength.
Oh, well, with that, Koichi definitely older than the players here in the youth national team, right? It's once upon a time that he played in the Southeast Asian Games.
Well, he's another evergreen of Philippine football, Koichi Belgira.
Of course, yes, that strength coming up or going up against a much younger player.
old guy strength. Claro.
And earlier, when we were looking at the team sheet, given that this is a speedy youth national team, right? I was looking forward to see, or I was hoping we get to see a talent like MJ Canicosa Libre with his dribbling skills. His dribbling skills, his footwork, his agility. That's given his futsal background.
Yeah, Stallion decidedly bigger and stronger than this Philippine youth national team, but that size and strength not yet becoming evident. Baka medyo nahihiya sila, klaro, mangmama pa. And MJ Libre about the same size as the rest of them and might not be as shy. So good layoff there from Schaffner to Fami Ibrahim in the box.
It's a penalty here.
No doubt about it. The referee, a full whistle there without hesitation, pointing to the spot at two pairs of legs got in the way of Fami Ibrahim.
Diego Aspiras in disbelief. Let's look at that again. Merino, and then there's Batyon at the back. There's Merino, and then a challenge here from Diego Aspiras. They got tangled.
It might actually have been the tackle from Merino, because Aspiras might have gotten ball. Merino looks like he didn't. And of course, there's a lot of complaints here on the near side, but I've never seen a call overturned on complaints. So Coach Sergey Mascarel hot under the collar, venting his ire towards the fourth official as Juan Gallena Trujillo is the designated penalty taker tonight in place of the ineligible Finn McDaniel to take this penalty.
An undermanned squad, but an opportunity for some players to rise up and just embrace a challenge. Juan versus Sandejas. Level terms here, thanks to Juan Diego Galeana Trujillo. The Mexican gives his thanks. Coach Sergi off camera just went to the fourth officials table just to give some or show his displeasure.
I fondly call Juan I fondly call Juan the Sicario, and tonight he's delivered. He's delivered on the tying goal for Stallion Laguna FC. So we have a game in hand. Claro, 2-2, half a match to play, sending Sandejas the wrong way to score for Stallion Laguna.
And Laguna spoils, or they spoiled the party of the youth national team. As Fami Ibrahim decked Brian Villanueva.
Dangerous there from Fami. Fami already on a yellow card, getting across Villanueva. But a case was to be made that Villanueva's previous move was a foul on Stefan Schrock, grabbing Schrock from behind.
Confirmation once more, the goal of Juan. A Mexican getting it. There's a hard fall, it seems, from Diego Aspiras. Shraki.
Diego Aspiras ran into the back of Schrock. So low cross now delivered by Schaffner, cut out. But attack still on. Heavy touch by Chris Schaffner, but he gets it back. Koichi Bilgira now feeding Fami Ibrahim. Beautiful dummy.
Beaten to Libre. The two were teammates together before. And then Sandeas came up with this big save. You see the shift in momentum now. These guys are clicking.
Ooh.
It's loose from Sea-Dog
Ball
Schaffner.
just got away from Sea-Dog. He had Fami waiting on the inside for it.
May have been the commentator's curse on my end there in that spell. But the youth national team will gladly take that break to ice the momentum.
So it's good to see, Claro, that Stallions has woken up in this second half because they're honestly, we as commentators, we call it as we see it. And in the first half for Stallion, there wasn't much good to talk about. But they've woken up, and hopefully for their sake, they can keep this momentum. For the Philippine youth national team, it's a test of character. They were ahead, and you're on a high, your adrenaline's pumping. But now you're being tested again. Your back's against the wall. The result right now would be a draw. Not a bad result for them, but once you've had a taste of the lead, it's a drug you can't get enough of.
Being true competitors, you play to win, not to say, hey, I want to get a draw or lose by one goal, right?
No athlete worth his salt would be happy with a draw.
Fami Ibrahim, that's the NorCal connection, and then Merino got to clear it. You were talking about the Bay Area, right, Dennis? As first, we will run through the sub. It is Edgar Aban Jr. stepping off for Carl Absalon. And Carl Absalon, actually the rookie of the year in the UAAP when he started off. That was season 85. There's the option to play short with Hartman. We don't think that's the case. Oh, I spoke too soon.
Tried to feed it, but again, imprecise from Hartman. Libre tries to get a tackle in. Koichi Bilgira knows how to position himself.
On top, Carino not taking the throw in. So there's that Northern California connection, right? Fami Ibrahim, Sea-Dog Schaffner.
That ball went off the head of Koichi Bilgira. But referee linesman flags for a foul.
The traffic to go right to left once more. That's been the ebb and flow in this game.
And the wind now also blowing right to left. So this Mark Hartman, not very precise with too many of his passes. He can't be happy with himself at the moment, Claro.
Tough day in the office, but who says they're on level terms after scoring 2 goals after a tough day in the office? Sometimes when you have a team struggling, they'd figure in massive deficits. But if you're Stallion, you're definitely in this. A youth national team, of course, a tough team to beat.
So one got there but couldn't get the ball under control well enough. But attack still on. MJ Libre turning backwards. Now Mark Hartman for the reset. He's going to look to feed.
It's Canicosa Libre. MJ got swarmed. Wins something for them here. But I don't think that's inside the box. It's outside, just at the edge.
See, those were similar hits to what Fami Ibrahim got in the first half, Claro. But Fami, of course, taller, bigger in stature. Libre, decidedly small. So there's an element here that the referee is a bit more sympathetic to a foul against Libre versus the fouls that Ibrahim was getting in the first half.
But it is a free kick from the right. It's Juan Galeana Trujillo stepping up to it. One goal for him in this game. A chance though to bag another one, but with this angle we could perhaps expect a service unless he could find a gap in that wall. Shoots!
Not far from one. Just maybe a foot or two outside of that left upright.
Despite of that tough angle, going for the near post right there.
Because it's the unexpected angle, Claro, and he did beat the keeper, but not the post. And
An ideal distance from Sandejas.
no.
There's a player down though right here for the national team.
That's well, looks like Diego Aspiras, who's down. But Stallion putting high pressure, knowing that this is not an easy stadium to kick a long ball left to right. Not in the evening. And so they're wise to that, so they pressure high. And true enough, the ball didn't travel far. Whereas now we see these right to left crosses will go the distance.
Schaffner getting through. Merino. Hartman, their makeshift center back. Sea Dog.
Well, Schaffner wanted that ball left.
What a moment. Dov Carino going up against his former coach, Straki. Plenty of those instances. Hartman, can he connect? Mission accomplished there. Can they sustain?
Very few people as good as Mark Hartman in delivering these long balls. So maybe that center back position, as long as he's not under pressure defensively, is where he can distribute effectively from.
A bit of that playmaking center back like Mats Hummels. It's quite a joy to watch actually when they're able to connect in those instances.
So referee calling for treatment. It looks like he sees blood.
Oh, there you go.
From the nose of Bengzon. This is not an ideal moment to be down a man when you're defending a corner against a taller, bigger team.
You'll need all the numbers you can get, but that's the challenge here thrown. We are nearing the 1 hour mark already. It's the first 15 minutes that are crucial again in or coming out of the halftime break. It's 10-man youth national team, but that's temporary. Here comes the delivery. And then the whistle against Laguna here. And Charlie Beaton and Takatoku were trying to come up with something here. Laguna need that 3 points if they want to chase that final series bus. But for the youth national team, yes, they can compete for the title. No AFC spots, of course, because they're a guest team. They are the national team setup. They're here to compete and get into the mix with these full-fledged pros. So Bengzon is back. The orange shirts are in full strength. And we do see that David Yeboah is about to enter the game.
So he's a wing back. So could be for Koichi Belgiro or Matt Nieras, but that's a mistake there. And one will pounce on it. And inches, agonizing inches wide of that right upright. Not enough of a breeze, low to the ground to push that ball, the net so tantalizing for one. It's beaten the keeper, but not enough spin nor wind to guide that ball to where it needed to be.
Wind, a bit of that external factor, of course, that the players have to deal with.
See, you see these balls from the goalkeeper not getting height nor distance in this second half.
Sandea struggling with that. But one was inches away from giving Stallion the lead and bagging his second goal of the evening. And with the way he ran,
And even in the first half, Sandea has some tendencies that he has to develop out of him first. What do I mean by that? When he's receiving a back pass from a teammate and he has to clear it, he has to take a step back to get momentum.
all part of the learning process, of course, and
Yes.
maturing as a player.
Very young and he will learn, but he's a tall boy with good reflexes.
Charlie Beaton stepped off for David Yeboah. One local player out, one foreigner in. Sea Dog not happy there, but it is a yellow on Ramil Bation.
Yes.
I've never seen Sea Dog get heated like that,
No,
actually, come to think of it.
Bation
That's the
did
reason
not
why.
play the ball and just went straight into Sea Dog's back. And, Chris Schaffner, typically a cool customer.
Shraki challenging Lepardos, I think, to go for it because they want to dummy it like that. Shraki bringing out the tricks in the bag here against the youth national team.
Well, Schrock is not going to put up with this. He's a fiery competitor
The reason why he opted to retire again, right?
for the sixth time.
I give
I say it, I rib Schrock with much affection. The last time he retired, I told him, it's not going to be long. You will unretire.
well, with that, of course, that's with him being that competitor, right? He's competed in Bundesliga. He's played in the Europa
He
League.
has competed in the Bundesliga. He does play in the sevens, but the sevens is not the Philippines Football League. This is a different competition altogether, whole different level. And if in his heart, he still believes he's one of the best. And if you're one of the best, you want to play with the best, and that's in the Philippines Football League.
With his corner kick working out with the way of the YNT. Shraki, after all, finished the 2024 season, the last one, as the leader in assists with 17. And he did make limited appearances for one Taguig, his club that time. Limited appearances, no problem.
Because health-wise, he looks to be in great shape. And his work rate has been high in this game.
Yeboah
Oh,
mishit.
Mishit by David Yeboah.
Carl against Koichi. Mourinho versus Fami. Gets into a collision with Aspiras.
Aspiras got in the way there of Fami Ibrahim. And was that yellow for
Yes,
Fami?
yes. I
Is
could hear a crew
is
saying
that
it's a
the-
red. That's his second yellow already in this game.
Is that the second?
There you go. 2 yellows. Fami Ibrahim is out of this one. It's the second straight game that Laguna are down to 10 men.
And there doesn't look to have been clumsy, but he had the ball.
Let's look at it here.
See, here he took one touch, which was a bit heavy. He still has possession, technically. And his boot gets caught in the turf, tumbles him.
And he was the
Tumbles
one
him.
with the ball.
He was the one with the ball. So he does have the privilege of staying with the ball.
But the referee's decision is final, as we know. Laguna will have to come up with something. And they're down to 10 men for the second consecutive game. Yebo managed to just get it to Belgira. And there was this game actually of Wantagig, if I recall correctly, against...
It was Stallion that was down a man against Wantagig.
No,
He came back.
well, a game in the last season
Yes. Yeah.
with Wantagig. I think against Digger maybe, or UCFC, where they were down to 10 men, and then Shraki just bailed out their midfield.
Well,
Is he going to do something like that, or will someone step up? Let's see. Or will these boys, of course, continue their tenacious play? Because 2-all, 66
so
minutes.
there Diego Espiras with a yellow card for a challenge on... Who is that? Taka?
That's correct. It's Taka. Yuki Takatoku.
Yuki Takatoku. There's a rhythm to his name. Yuki Takatoku.
And as you said, Espiras with a yellow card. Shraki. Hartman.
For most players, that ball from Shraki would be hard to control, but not for Mark Hartman.
He's blending in well into that role, right? We mean in a good way. See Doug Schaffner? Keeper mishandled it initially.
There's a case to be made that that ball went out, and it did. So linesman rightly calls for a corner. One going over on that side. And this is where the size, although they lost a bit of height with the exit of Fami Ibrahim.
Height on the wing. One in set pieces, of course. Get to crowd the goalkeeper box. The delivery from one. Carl. Trying to get it forward.
Oh,
Offside is right
there.
here.
Yes.
Mourinho gets the number they dial. He is calling it. Stallion need this win again to make the top four busters stay well in the hunt.
Well,
But if
they're still not out of it. Even with a draw, they wouldn't be out of it.
Of course, you just don't want to be chasing too much,
Yes.
of course, after potentially dropping points.
To be realistic, a game against one of the bottom 3-4 teams is where you look to make points.
Dov Carino rounded the linesman up against David Yeboah. Valenzuela, but there was the stop. And it's Takatoku coming up with that one for them. What if the youth national team manages to bag a draw, Dennis? Would you say that's an upset?
It is. Definitely. Stallion Laguna is a top. It's built to be a top team in the PFL.
Kent to Dove.
David loses that ball.
Aspiras. Cut it back. Top of the box. Bation. Was that a miss hit?
It was, definitely was. Bation better than that scuffed shot.
A shot taken. Off target right here.
That's
No
going to be
good.
a goal kick for Roberto Llamas.
No good for Libarnes.
Mark.
It wasn't handled by Karaig. What is the call here? Offside.
Offside on one, Galiana Trujillo. So it was a full 5 seconds of play that are negated by that offside flag.
2 wins so far in the season for the youth national team. One against Davao, one against Minjola. And then they bagged the draw versus Moharlika. The team of Coach Sergi Mascarel have 7 points to show so far. Coach
Heavy.
Ernie and his crew have 16.
Heavy touch from Chris Schaffner. The ball drifting out. Throw in now for the youth team. Down on that far side. Taka cutting it out. Libre.
Galiana Trujillo.
Cutting it back. Looking to find Shrock.
Koichi got it going their attacking direction. 2-on-1 against Shiraki. Mission
Shiraki
accomplished
all
for
alone.
Karaig and Dov.
They are down one man, so that's why Shrock was alone. Mark. Oh no.
Hartman versus Lebarnes. Yabua there to support. Hartman gets it done here for them. It's not often you see players get close to Hartman like that while he's trying to distribute.
No.
But this one is out and about.
And that's a lot more running and sprinting that than Mark is comfortable with.
Hartman to Shrock. That's how the defense has been linking up with the midfield. Shraki trying to shake off Aspiras. One making a run for it. Mourinho got a touch to it.
The touch just taking it away enough from one. So 72nd minute. 28 minutes of regulation to go. Plus added time.
Karaig versus Koichi. Holding on to each other for maybe almost a quarter
Holding
of
on
the
to each
length
other
of the
and
pitch.
not out of affection, claro.
Carino delaying this, just making sure that they stop the quick play. Hartman got it to Shraki. Shraki versus Dov Carino. Mourinho with a stop.
And Shraki's getting it into where the areas he should be getting it into. It's up to his teammates now to pounce on those second balls. And David Iboa just cutting it out. Arguments for handball, but that looked to have caught David square in the chest.
We're in the 72nd minute. Let's see, of course, if our coaches have more tricks up their respective sleeves. We're talking about changes, of course, in that chess match of theirs. Still 2-all.
And that's a handball from Diego Aspiras right in front of the referee. So easy call as he juggled, hit his hand.
Our goal scorers again. There's Kent Valenzuela and Edgar Aban for the youth national team in orange. Stallion Laguna FC in white. Fam Ibrahim and Juan Galiana Trujillo, the goal scorers. But Ibrahim was sent off after getting his second yellow card in this game. Hartman got beaten.
He got turned around there. And he's going to get a yellow for that.
The shirt pulling
Motion.
especially.
Yes.
Here's a look at that again.
So it was a loose touch from him. And the player was getting around him on the outside. He had no option and no remorse in committing that foul.
It's Raymart De Los Santos, our referee again for this game. And he's booked a number of players actually this evening. We have to hold on before we get this ball from the wing from Absalon. Absalon and Bengzon, just to be exact.
So Bengzon recovered from that bloody nose.
Delivered with his left. Nieras the header. MJ Libre to chase versus Batyon. MJ.
MJ wins that battle, wins possession of the ball on the right side. But the referee is going to ask for the ball to be brought back 10 yards for a proper throw-in.
Takatoku.
Takatoku winning the shoulder challenge. Finding Shrock, who finds Belgira. Now Libre on the right side. Loose from Libre, but Schaffner there to clean up.
That is what Sea Dog likes to do. As it is sent out to the wing. Nieras. Takatoku. Koichi got it to Hartman. Shiraki gave it back to Taka. Quick play here, quick passing. Offside though.
Criminally offside from Christian Schaffner. To be on that far side looking down the line is when you should never be offside.
Right there.
See,
Sido clearly offside.
Clearly offside. And he's looking down the line. And claro, that's when you should never be offside because you have perfect sight of where you should be situated.
Well, we were talking about the people with the best seats for catching offside, right? There's the linesman, there's the player himself near the linesman, and then there's our cameraman working the offside cams. You'll take that stop if you're the youth national team. Unfortunate if you're Stallion Laguna. The time continues to tick for either team to get the go-ahead goal.
Good football so far from the new Stallion edition Taka.
Belkira slowly but surely. Takatoku. That ball hit Absalon. Got it to Shiraki though. Valenzuela wants to take on that challenge. Yaboa. Schaffner. Galiana Trujillo. MJ. Dribbling. Swarmed. Knocked it to the side. Schaffner. Got past. Trying to body or protect the ball. Galiana Trujillo. Got it back. The defense just gets the stop.
Too much dribbling there inside the box, Clara. At some point, you just gotta swing and have a go.
Sometimes there's those nerves, right? Or that gigil,
Well,
as we would say in Filipino.
MJ Libre looked to have at least two opportunities there to have a swing and a go.
Sidog Schaffner. Stopped by Merino. I think Merino is shaken up though. And then it's a call against Stallion. It will go the way of the national team. Let's
Very
hold on.
light call there. Taka will find himself hard done by. But we have Merino down here by the goal. 78 minutes to go. Precious seconds ticking away. Both teams might have to content themselves with 1 point. And these points are valuable both ways. Philippine, the youth team looking to establish itself, maybe not as a contender for the championship, but a team to be contended with. Stallion chasing one of those top 4 spots.
A draw for the youth national team will allow them to actually get within a point of Maharlika, based on their standings. If they could spring up an upset, they will leapfrog Maharlika in the standings. Shraki. There's a double change being set up from the looks of it for the YNT in orange. And then it will be a corner kick right here for Stallion Laguna, the white shirts. That delivery, unideal. Matt Nieras tried to put the pressure.
Challenge on Absalon.
But Takatoku got to stop for Laguna to deny the transition. They're inching up the left side bit by bit. But this one was on target. Routine from Liamas. But
So
you do not want to flirt with that type of danger.
Stallion also looking to make changes, but one got behind the defense. He'll be on goal and looks to have been pushed from behind by Joshua Merino, was it? And the referee not hesitating to blow and point to the penalty spot.
The contrast of emotions. Laguna celebrating the penalty win.
Long ball, quick long ball delivered by Roberto Llamas. Merino made a mistake and let it play over his head. Juan getting behind Merino and there bundled over. clearly into the center of his back. Winning now a penalty and a possible go-ahead goal for Stallion Laguna.
What a find from Roberto Llamas, getting that forward to Juan Diego Galeana Trujillo. So there's Mr. Incredible with Stallion, right? But he's not playing. One may be Dash, just to fill that up. Too much of a stretch though. But Juan Galeana Trujillo, the Mexican, with a chance to give Stallion the lead. They've yet to taste the lead actually in this game. They've equalized twice. They want to bounce back from that loss to Taguig last week, as Merino got booked.
So this is, I mentioned earlier, it was a test of character for the Philippine youth team. But it's also a test of character for Stallion Laguna. They are underhanded coming into this game. They are further handicapped with a red card in the second half. But now, with the opportunity to go ahead in this match and put themselves in a position for 3 full points.
It's one to step up. He scored earlier off a penalty. Does it again here. Juan spreading his wings. The joy. You can even say the relief here.
Ole, ole, ole. Juan Galeana Trujillo puts Stallion Laguna ahead 3-2 in the 82nd minute off a penalty kick. A penalty kick that he himself earned with a run behind Joshua Merino off a Roberto Llamas long ball.
Sometimes there's that virtual assist by winning your penalty.
And did you see the distance that that ball got from Roberto? It got all the way from the 6-yard box to almost the top of the penalty box.
Great control from him. Maybe with home field advantage also, knowing the conditions or being more familiar with the conditions here in Binyan or the environment. Aspiras, the youth national team, want to answer back as this hit the roof of the net.
And that was uncomfortable for Roberto because, again, because of that wind. First look is that it's going clearly over, but that wind is stalling that ball enough to have gone under the crossbar.
I'm actually curious to see who will step off for Ricky Sendra. He'll get about 7+ minutes of action. And it is Koichi who
Belgira,
will step off.
a wing back.
Not essentially a like-for-like change,
No.
right? With Sendra being in the middle, or
No,
being in the midfield, central midfield,
Yes,
to be
Koichi
precise.
David Iboa is there to play the wing back role. And it looks like they're lined up to play 4 in the back, being down a man. So you have Matt Nieras and Mark Hartman as the center backs, David Iboa as the left back, Chris Schaffner right. Then they're playing 2 6s in front of that back line in Ricky Sendra and Taka.
It's never too late to make it a business day when you have
No.
Ricky Sendra with you. A veteran will help them, or will try to help them see this through.
Yes.
3-2 lead for Stallion. But they are down to 10 men. Fahmi Ibrahim picked up his second yellow earlier in the game. Hence he was given his marching orders. That is after collision with Diego Aspiras, as Libre slid it to Shraki. Sendra, first touches in the game. Nieras, back to Llamas. Off of Kuya Shraki.
Off of Shraki's round shoulder. That ball from Taka finding Libre. Libre switched over to this left side. Left for Shrak, and Shrak had a possible feed to Taka.
Over to
Oh,
one. Unfortunately, he's caught offside once more. And here's the change earlier that was being lined up. Joseph Garces will enter along with Edward Omitade. And Theo Libarnes will call it a day after almost playing the full 90.
And
The
we
other
s-
player stepping off is Bengson.
And we see Charles Pickering also ready to make his entrance into the game. He's been available but not played for a few games ever since this retooling at Stallion.
Because if you'd have Sea Dog Schaffner playing wingback on one side, Pickering would be the other.
Pickering more of a midfielder and attacking player. I don't see him as a winger.
He's actually a natural striker, but he's been
He
deployed
is,
here and
he
there
is,
for
he
Coach
is.
Ernie. Senja from Takatoku. MJ Libre playing his game. He's in his comfort zone.
Chopping it to the outside, but Valenzuela wise to it.
And Valenzuela has that speed to match up with MJ. And we've been talking about speed here, right, with the youth national team. I'd like to see the speed of Dexter Casing be put up against this youth national team. And he played against these guys in the UAP. Dexter Casing, one of the players of Stallion, who did come from the Adamson Soaring Falcons. He's on the bench though. And as you mentioned, Dennis Pickering will enter the game in a bit. Roberto Llamas the clearance. It went to an opponent though in Batyon. Touches now Obetade.
Oh, Omitabe taken out by Pickering. That's going to be a free kick in a dangerous area. And we also see Ryan Lim ready to enter. Ryan is a wing player. So if it's a like for like substitution, Ryan more of a left-sided player. So he's taking out player number 38, which in this lineup he's player number 28, and he's taking out Kent Valenzuela.
And then one stepped off for Pickering. Interesting move. Subbing off one who has 2 goals today.
2 goals off penalties, but a good run to earn the second penalty.
Juan Galeana Trujillo coming up big right here for Laguna. But they still need to see this through now with the remaining crew. Short-handed Stallion, need to stop. How will the youth national team capitalize? Llamas got to meet that well. But nonetheless, there was a foul against the team in orange as Llamas is down.
I don't see, because he was untouched to collect the ball, and maybe it was after that. Here's the delivery. Llamas came to collect. Oh, and there was a flashing foot. And it might have been from a teammate even. It might have been Taka that caught Roberto in a sensitive area.
Llamas back on his feet. And he'll get this underway in a bit. We're half a minute away from getting on to stoppage time. And given that they're in the lead, Llamas taking his sweet time. But casually takes this. And interesting, Pickering is being deployed up front. Four minutes of additional time as confirmed by Aldo Fuentes, our 4th official.
Which I think is, again, like the first half, rather stingy. But Stallion won't mind, but the Philippine youth team will.
As is the case for any team defending the lead or the team looking to play catch up. This has got to go in the classics for PFL games.
Long ball again. Accurate So accurate from Mark Hartman on these long balls. Ian Taka should have done better. He had Schrock on the overlap. But maybe there was an opposing boot that touched it out. Stallion still have possession. Christian Schafter now for the throw-in.
Shiraki, diagonal ball, trying to get it to MJ Libre. Sandejas got it. Got it off quickly now to Karaig. Desperation time for the national team to catch up. Sandra got a touch to it. Hartman plays it back to Llamas. Llamas has to release. He was under some pressure from Joseph Garces. But they got to send it forward. It will continue here from the middle. They're getting up bit by bit. Absalon. Libre did enough to cause trouble. And then Pickering. Well, hold on. Shiraki. Getting tangled up also. Aspiras wanted to play it quickly. Then you see the frustration here from the youth national team. Shiraki getting into it. But while he's doing that, he's not happy, of course, right? Having an argument with a referee.
Well, Rocky knows.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. He knows he's eating up. He's eaten up 30 seconds with these antics. And I chuckle, Claro, because really,
he's playing all the tricks in the bag here to get this win. Well, perhaps that's why they signed him up, right?
Yes.
Absalon service. Llamas once more. He's been called to action as of late. But it's into his safe gloves. Off of Karaig. Takatoku. Kuya Shraki. Definitely offside there. Time not in the side of the youth national team as Shraki knocked that ball back. And can I just say, these boys watched him growing up. Watching Shraki with these boys or their parents who are in the grandstand and aren't happy with that.
No, and a lot of these boys did train under Shrock, as they did train under Mark, as some of them trained under Matt.
Or some of them, Matt covered their games.
Or Matt covered their games. Coach Sam Bonney on the bench of Stallion also spending a lot of time developing young players. So these are the stories, Clara, that are off the pitch. The stories of growing up in Philippine football.
Taken down the line, off of Sea Dog. Was that off of Shraki? But Shraki committed the foul.
Shraki committed a foul. Charles Pickering will get a yellow card for getting in the way of that free kick.
And Shraki, I believe, is... Oh, didn't get booked though.
No,
he
no.
poked that ball away. Second time he's done it. But Dennis, we are 30 seconds already.
We're 30 seconds
Beyond.
away. And if this result holds, I'm going to, at this point, call our man of the match. And it's not for scoring goals. It's for having his influence all over the game. His high work rate in spite of his age, of his stature in the game. And that honor goes to Stefan Schrock.
As we've said, right, Shraki bailed out one gig when he was with them last season when they were down to 10 men. Shraki close to doing that with Laguna. But it is a corner kick here.
This is going to be some of the last action because we're 1 minute past extra time. The youth team with the man advantage, and they're going to throw everybody in. Should be. They play it short though.
Karaig. And Llamas gets it.
Llamas gets it, but dangerously so because there were two youth players around him and none of the Stallion player reacting. But at the end of the day, Stallion got the result.
You could see
Both teams worked hard. The youth national team held the lead for a good stretch of the game.
you
But
could
after the
see
final
relief,
whistle.
actually, of Philbert Alquiros upon hearing that full-time whistle. Well, Roberto Llamas, you could see the relief, right?
Yes.
Getting a win like that. Not really the joy, but the relief that they got it. But no points for guessing, right, Dennis?
So here again we have featured on the screen Stefan Schrock shaking hands with many boys who were his wards at one point or another. The man of the match for the Stallion Laguna versus Philippine Youth National Team match, none other than the living playing legend Stefan Schrock.
He's had to unretire a number of times, hence he's the legend. But confirmation once more that it's Stallion Laguna 3, a come from behind, the opposite of last week with their heartbreaking defeat. The Youth National Team 2. Our goal scorers again, there's Fahmi Ibrahim, but unfortunately he was sent off after picking 2 yellow cards. Juan Diego Galliano Trujillo bagged 2 goals of his own. That's how Stallion managed to bag 3. That's how and then the Youth National Team, they got the opener again. Thanks to Kent Valenzuela, let's not forget. But that goal was cancelled out, and then Edgar Aban actually gave them a 2-1. The 2-1 lead at that point in time. As we have yellow cards being issued after the game. That's part of the protocol, Dennis. That yellow cards can be given after they are being issued to the staff.
It was
of
issued
our
to
youth
an
national
assistant
team.
coach of Sergi Mascarel for complaining and getting in the path of the referees as they were just trying to get off the playing area and into their sanctum. But it's been a pleasure, Claro. It's a cool night in Binyan. We had a good afternoon and evening of football.
Classics in the books for Philippines Football League games, come to think of it.
So congratulations go out this afternoon to the Davao Aguilas and Coach Aber Rosgal. Congratulations for your second win in a row. And tonight to Coach Ernie Nieras and the Stallion Laguna Football Club.
It ends again. Stallion Laguna 3, fighting from behind. And then, they bagged that victory over the youth national team, who bagged 2. A close one here. But we'll sign off alongside Dennis Lucindo. This was Claro Manzano, your commentator for this match. And a big thank you on behalf of the entire hardworking crew right here. But as we always say, we'll see you in the next game.